नमो ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नित्यनामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्रीमद्भागवतम की जय।
Just 1 minute, I'll introduce you briefly. So we have with us His Grace Keshav Nimai Prabhu. Prabhuji was introduced to Krishna Consciousness in final year of BTech at NIT Warangal in 2003. And then Prabhuji did his MTech from IISc Bangalore from 2004 to 7. And then Prabhuji worked in TVS Motor for 2 years. Then in the year of 2009, Prabhuji dedicated his life in the mission of Srila Prabhupada and joined ashram. So from then, Prabhuji is rendering various services in kitchen and the Gurukul at Pune. And now currently Prabhuji is serving as teacher in BVRV teaching, and like he's teaching various Bhakti, Vaibhava and Bhakti Shastri courses. And Prabhuji also takes care of the cooking in whatever major festivals we have in NVCC. So Prabhuji cooks in that. So it's our pleasure to have Prabhuji, and we are looking forward to hear from you, Prabhuji. So let us welcome Prabhuji by loudly chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare Ram,
Ram
Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Sorry for extremely sorry for some technical issues. Already 20 minutes per hour. Let us see how much we can cover. So we are continuing our Srimad Bhagavatam study, Bhakti Vaibhava course. I'm extremely grateful to Sakshi Asat Prabhu for giving an opportunity to glorify Srimad Bhagavatam, especially the personalities in the Srimad Bhagavatam and the Supreme Lord, of course. So we are in chapter 18. Of course, you know the flow of how things happen in the first canto. Of course, first canto is almost the introduction to whole Srimad Bhagavatam. The main conversation between Parikshit Maharaj and Sukadeva Goswami starts in, of course, they meet in the 19th chapter, first canto, and then it starts from the second canto. The main Srimad Bhagavatam, the conversation between Parikshit Maharaj and Sukadeva Goswami. So now current section where Parikshit Maharaj's glorious birth, activities, and his and he was cursed by Shringi. So these are all major events in Parikshit Maharaj's life. So these are all being described by Sutta Goswami to Naimisharan sages. So the chapter 17, the punishment of Kali, was discussed, and now we will discuss about chapter 18. Of course, Prabhupada gives the title, the Brahmana boy curses Parikshit Maharaj. So we'll just go through the summary from our handbook. So we are planning to cover, let us say we are planning to cover till 23rd verse today, where this is one section, and after from 24 to 50 is another section, major section, where the actual story starts from 24th, where Parikshit Maharaj goes to forest and he was cursed by the boy. So how, I mean, generally devotees speak, I mean, read on his proof. Maybe you can, someone can read from first to this, as from verses 1 to 9 and 10 to 23, the summary of today's topic. Yeah.
We have numbering, so we'll start. We will read by numbers.
Yeah, please.
Mine is number 3. 1, 2 is absent, so I'll start.
Sure.
SB Canto 1, Chapter 18 Overview, verses 1 to 9. Sud Goswami describes Maharaj Parikshit's attitude towards being cursed, his surrender to Shukdev Goswami, and his dealings with the personality of Kali.
Yeah, the first 9 verses especially. Sutta Goswami summarizes his whole life. We will see in detail, but he summarizes his whole life and is dealing with, especially is dealing with Kali, the good qualities of Kali. And then, then 10 to 23 you can summarize.
The sages of Naimisharanya express their doubts about the 1,000-year sacrificial performance they have begun. They explain how their bodies have become black from the smoke. They glorify Sud Goswami as well as the value of hearing about Krishna from great devotees and request him to describe the pastime of the Lord. Sud Goswami describes the reason for his elevation to speak Srimad Bhagavatam in terms of giving credit to the sages. He glorifies the Supreme Lord. He expresses the humility in regards to exalted nature of Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yeah. So the 18th chapter is basically Parikshit Maharaj cursed by Brahmana boy. So Prabhupada title status. So the connection is given that how all the events are leading to his renunciation of kingdom of Parikshit Maharaj. So these are all events are described to bring up the section where the Srimad Bhagavatam is being spoken by Parikshit Maharaj, by Sukadeva Goswami, Parikshit Maharaj. So these are the events leading to that final conclusion. So that's how the connection is given from the previous topics. So I'll read we will start with the first verse. Yo vaidronyastra viplushto namatur mritaha anugrahat bhagavata Krishnasya adbhuta karmanaha. Can someone read translation for the devotee?
Sri Suta Goswami said, due to the mercy of the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna, who acts wonderfully, Maharaj Parikshit, those struck by the weapons of the son of Drona in his mother's womb could not be burned.
So here, Vishwanath Thakur says that because all the sages headed by Shonak Rishi were astonished by hearing that Parikshit Maharaj could punish Kali in the previous chapter. So seeing their astonishment, so Sutta Goswami is saying that it's not just that is astonishing, punishing of Kali. His life story itself is very astonishing. The birth itself till attaining to the Lord, living to the Lord. It's all astonishing. Wonderful story of Parikshit Maharaj. That's how. So to explain that, Sutta Goswami is summarizing all the life events in first three verses, in the first 3 verses. So here Prabhupada says that the sages of Naimisharanya became struck with wonder after hearing about the wonderful administration of Maharaj Parikshit, especially in reference to his punishing personality of Kali and making him completely unable to do any harm within the kingdom. So Goswami was equally anxious to describe Maharaj Parikshit's wonderful birth and death. And this verse is stated by Sutta Goswami to increase the interest of the sages of Naimisharanya. Of course, he already spoken how Parikshit Maharaj was saved in the womb, 8th chapter. But still, again is reminding, is relishing that activity of describing the wonderful pastime of how Krishna saved Parikshit Maharaj. That's how he got the name Vishnurat. Vishnurat means one who is protected by Vishnu, Lord Vishnu. Parikshit Maharaj, another name is Vishnurat. So one who is protected by Parikshit Maharaj. Or also another way of meaning is given that one who is given by Vishnu to Yudhishthira Maharaj. Datta. So Vishnu Datta. That's how it's spoken. because of his great love, Supreme Lord's great love to Yudhishthira Maharaj. So Supreme Lord himself saved him and personally gave him, because he is the only heir remaining in his Vamsha, the Kuru Vamsha, the last heir. So that was also attacked by Ashwadhama. That's how the history goes. So the Ashwadhama attacked the last heir also, but because of the great love towards Pandavas, so Vishnu, especially Krishna, personally saved and gave to Yudhishthira Maharaj the last heir. So that's what was spoken Vishnu Raj. The name was given Vishnu Raj. Okay. Next verse. Brahma Kopitathyastu Takshakat Prana Viplavat Na Sammohu Bhayat Bhagavat Arpitashayah. Please read.
Furthermore, Maharaj Parikshit was always consciously surrendered to the personality of Godhead, and therefore he was neither afraid nor overwhelmed by fear due to the snake bird which was to bite him because of the fury of a Brahmin boy.
So here is explaining about how Parikshit Maharaj is consciously surrendered to personality of God. So because of that, he was never afraid or fearful of anything. Though it's supposed to be bitten by the snake bird. Can you read the first para? Hare Krishna.
A self-surrendered devotee of the Lord is called Narayan Parayan. Such a person is never afraid of any place or person, not even of death. For him, nothing is as important as a Supreme Lord, and thus he gives equal importance to heaven and hell. He knows well that both heaven and hell are creation of the Lord, and similarly that life and death are different conditions of existence created by the Lord. But in all conditions, should I read?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, but in all condition and in all circumstance, he considers remembrance of Narayan essential. The Narayan Parayana practices this constantly.
Yeah. So here Prabhupada is explaining about how the surrendered devotee, self-surrendered devotee, a pure devotee, what is consciousness? Narayan Parayana. Nakutasyana Vipati Swarga Pavarganarakeshu Apitulyata Darshana. That's what Prabhupada is translating here the verse. Narayana Parasarve Nakutasyana Vibhyati Swarga Pavarganarakeshu. In heaven or hell, their consciousness is very fixed. So that's why Prabhupada is saying that he considers the remembrance of Narayan is essential. So though we see the beautiful statement, Prabhupada, the Narayan Parayana practices this constantly. So one is perfected, one is remembering in perfection, but he is practicing still constantly. So that's the nature of a devotee. Though they are perfected, still they follow all the rules and regulations, still they try to appears to be practicing something, though they are perfected. That's the beauty of pure devotees. Just like Prabhupada, though he is the perfect Mahabhagavat, but still he always follows rules and regulations. He doesn't, he did not show any kind of, extra flashy or jazzy or kind of symptoms of a pure kind of a advanced devotee. No, he always maintained his stature of a practicing devotee. So that's how the nature of the devotees. Though they are very advanced, but still they are very much humble in terms of external demeanor. So that was explained by, that's what the Parikshit Maharaj consciousness also is so much fixed in the Lord. Though from birth, of course, from birth onwards, he is very much raised in Krishna conscious environment, right? So from birth onwards, he was playing with the dolls of Krishna and hearing about Krishna. His life was just like Prabhupada also. From birth onwards, he was hearing, chanting, playing mridanga, etc. making festivals, doing festivals, everything. So Parikshit Maharaj also was like that from childhood onwards, practically from birth onwards. So that's why his consciousness is very much fixed in the Supreme Lord. So that's Prabhupada explaining here. And the last few lines I just read. He knew that Narayana, Lord Krishna, had saved him when he was born in the womb of his mother, and that he were to be killed by a snake bite. It would also take place by the will of the Lord. The devotee never goes against the will of the Lord. Anything sent by God is a blessing for the devotee. So this is the consciousness that whatever may happen, it happens by the will of the Lord. Though the snake has to come and it will bite, so it will be by the will of the Lord. So that's the consciousness of the devotee, always trying to see the hand of the Lord in everything. So here, Prabhupada explains about what is meant by surrender devotee. What is the nature of surrender devotee? How he does his practical. What is meant by self-surrender? He defines in Chaitanya Charitamrita preface. Can someone read this one?
A pure devotee is a soul who is forever surrendered to the Lord, just as a child is surrendered to his parents or an animal to its master. In the surrendering process, one should accept things favorable for discharging devotional service, reject things unfavorable, firmly believe that the Lord will always protect his devotee, feel exclusively dependent on the mercy of the Lord, have no interest separate from the interest of the Lord, and always feel meek and humble.
Shradanga Sharanagati. This beautiful poem also written by Bhaktivinoda Thakur explaining the 6 symptoms of surrender. So whenever we hear surrender, of course we may have various understanding and conceptions, but these 6 things should come into our mind when we talk about surrender. So immediately when we say surrender to Lord, surrender to pure devotee, so these 6 things has to be monitored or evaluated in our life. How much we are surrendering. So of course, out of 6, 2 are very much practical in the sense that accepting things favorable and rejecting things that are unfavorable. Other things are mostly internal. They are more of a feelings of only believing and depending on the mercy of the Lord, having no separate interest from the Lord, and always meek and humble. They are more of a kind of internal qualities, internal feelings. But the first 2 are extremely important to practice externally. So that's how the surrendering process we need to understand always. So here Prabhupada is giving 2 examples for the surrender process. The child to its parents and to animals to its master. So it's a very beautiful examples to analyze. So when the child and parents, when you talk about, generally child has to completely depend on the parents. I mean, child can't do anything on its own, especially first 2 to 3 years, and especially within 1 year, it has to completely depend on mother, father, for its everything, practically everything. We were also, everyone has to be. There is no exception, there is no option. But it's complete dependence. That aspect of dependence is given in this example, child and parents. He is completely dependent on the mercy of parents. That's like the pure devotee. He dependent on the mercy of the Lord. But in another way, child may sometimes demands attention and service. So, but in case of example of explaining example of animal to its master, it's conveying no demand from the master. So it's not, there is no any demand. Just like a animal, generally we think of domicile animals like dog or any other animals. They always give service to master. So they are always ready to serve the master. Of course, Bhaktivinoda Thakur also very beautifully mentions in one song, Tumito Thakur, Tomar Kukur, I am your dog, I am render, I am here to protect all the enemies that are against you. So that's how he is feeling himself ready to serve anytime. So giving service to master to the extent that it can sacrifice its very life to the master. So that's the nature of a devotee. He is always completely dependent on the Lord. At the same time, he is not demanding anything from the Lord. That's the nature of the pure devotee. Dependence is there, but not demanding nature. Whatever Lord's will. Marobi Rakobi to Ichato Hamar. So that's the real nature of surrendered devotee, fully surrendered devotee, just like Parishit Maharaj. Though we are trying to practice and come to that platform. We may not be on that platform, but we surely are endeavoring to come to that kind of platform where, as Prabhupada mentioning that we are trying to follow the 6 symptoms of surrender, trying to execute those 6 symptoms. Of course, the first 2 are, as I mentioned, the first 2 are very important. Practicing things which are very favorable, just like we are studying Srimad Bhagavatam every weekend, coming together and discussing, and all the morning program, whatever we can possible. Of course, it's quite difficult. In Grihastha life, in Grihastha ashram, it's many challenges, many responsibilities. Maybe there will be there, but still, whatever we can, we try to execute what is favorable and what is unfavorable, we reject it. So that's how we go ahead in trying to develop the internal aspects of completely depending on the Lord, having the gut feeling that Krishna will protect me in all situations. That's like Parishit Maharaj is feeling here. Whatever may happen, it will take place. It will take place by the will of the Lord. So that's the nature of the devotee, the perfect devotee, definitely. But we need to practice, as Prabhupada mentioned in Narayan Parana, practice this is constantly. You need to practice this one, little by little, surely. Okay. So here, Sutta Goswami summarizing the Parikshit Maharaj's whole life, birth, and especially his consciousness is summarized in this verse. What is his nature of consciousness, with which he is dealing with everything in his life. Okay, the 3rd verse. Utrujya sarvatah sangam vignajita samsitihi payyasake shishyo gangayam swam kalevaram. Please read.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Translation. Furthermore, after leaving all his associates, the king surrendered himself as a disciple to the son of Vyasa, Sukadev Goswami, and thus he was able to understand the actual position of the personality of Godhead. Should I read the purport of the position?
At last, he gave up the material body. Yeah, 1 minute. Sorry. Yeah, first few lines you can read.
Okay. Purport. The word Ajita is significant here. The personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, is known as Ajita or unconquerable, and he is so in every respect. No one can know his actual position. He is unconquerable by knowledge also. We have heard about his Dhamma or place, eternal Golok Vrindavan. But there are many scholars who interpret the above in different ways. But by the grace of a spiritual master like Sukadev Goswami, unto whom the king gave himself up as a most humble disciple, one is able to understand the actual position of the Lord, his eternal abode, and his transcendental paraphernalia in his Dhamma or abode. Knowing the transcendental position of the Lord and the transcendental method by which one can approach that transcendental Dhamma, the king was confident about his ultimate destination. And by knowing this, he could leave aside everything material, even his own body, without any difficulty of attachment. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is stated, Param Drishtva Nivartate. One can give up all connection with the material attachment when one is able to see the Param or the superior quality of things. From Bhagavad Gita, we understand the quality of the Lord's energy that is superior to the material quality of energy. And by the grace of a bona fide spiritual master like Sukadev Goswami, it is quite possible to know everything of the superior energy of the Lord, by which the Lord manifests his eternal name, quality, pastime, paraphernalia, and meditatedness. Unless one thoughtfully understands this superior or the eternal energy of the Lord, it is not possible to live the material energy. However, one may theoretically speculate on the true nature of the absolute truth. By the grace of Lord Krishna, Maharaj Parikshit was able to revive the mercy of such a personality as Sukadev Goswami, and thus he was able to know the actual position of the unconquerable Lord. It is very difficult to find the Lord from the Vedic literature, but it is very easy to know him by the mercy of the liberated devotees like Sukadev Goswami. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So practically, Prabhupada is focusing on how to conquer the Lord. Ajita, a word spoken by Vignajita, Vijignata, so Samsitaha, Vayasake, Jaho, Shishyo. So Prabhupada is focusing on how we can conquer the Lord. So how here Parishit Maharaj, so here Parishit Maharaj was able to understand the actual position of the Lord by the grace of Sukadeva Goswami. So Prabhupada is focusing on that aspect of how one can conquer the Lord, though he is unconquerable. Ajita means one cannot conquer. So, but still he can be conquered. So that is possible by the mercy of spiritual master. So that's how he is quoting on Param Drishtva Nivartate. That will be given by the spiritual master. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado. Yasya prasadan nagati kutopi. Every day we sing in the morning Guru Astakam. How only by the mercy of the Lord we receive the mercy of Krishna. So we go through spiritual master. That's the position of spiritual master is very much emphasized. And Prabhupada also very much focused on this aspect in his life also. How his whole life is centered around pleasing the spiritual master. So by the pleasing spiritual master, everything will be revealed. Prabhupada quite often quotes various Vedic quotes. Tatvijnanatam sagurumeva vigachet. One should approach the spiritual master. Yasya deve parabhaktir yatha deve tata gurau. Tatsahi ki katita hardha prakashante mahatma. Katita hi hardha. The meanings of, as Prabhupada is mentioning in the last line, it's very difficult to find the Lord from Vedic literatures, but it's very easy to know him by the mercy of a liberated devotee, like Sukadeva Goswami. So one who has firm faith in the Lord and the same faith when he is in the spiritual master. For him only the meanings of the Sahi Katita Hai Artha, whatever is spoken by spiritual master will be revealed. One who has firm faith in the spiritual master. So we need to work on both aspects and developing relationship with spiritual master, through spiritual master to Krishna. It's a parallel lines, both Guru and Krishna, as Prabhupada mentions. So yeah, by pleasing spiritual master, by trying to follow his instructions, by understanding his mode and mission, we try to please him. By that we can conquer the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, it's not at all possible. One cannot approach a Supreme Lord by any other means. So that's what Prabhupada is very much focusing on this one. So here the higher taste given by spiritual master, as Prabhupada is focusing on. So that is possible as we discussed, as Prabhupada is also mentioning, that by pleasing spiritual master. So to please spiritual master, we need to follow his instructions. Following instruction means whatever is there, we need to keep it and our friend. So anything that is valuable, anything that we want to keep it behind. So any insignificant thing, only we can leave something behind. Paramdashtwani Vartade, especially this sloka of Bhagavad Gita, it says we need to develop a higher taste or higher vision. So then only we can approach towards the Supreme Lord, Supreme Abode, as Prabhupada mentioning this purport. The Dham is revealed. So we need to put behind the material world. How to put behind the material world? So we need to keep a more valuable thing ahead. To put something behind, we need to put more valuable thing ahead. Then only we can go ahead. Just like the story of, you might have heard the story of Sanatana Goswami and the Brahmana. The Brahmana approached the Sanatana Goswami, knowing that Sanatana Goswami had that touchstone. So Sanatana Goswami said, I will give. So he said, in that dustbin it is there, you can take it. So he took the touchstone and he was going. But he thought, the Brahmana thought, he kept the touchstone in the dustbin. That means he had something more valuable. So he came back again and he was asking Sanatana Goswami, see, I think you have much more valuable than this one. Otherwise, why you keep this touchstone, such a valuable thing, in dustbin? And then Sanatana Goswami said, yes, I have that one. But before that, you have to give up this one. Then only I will give the more valuable thing. So the Brahmana was very much convinced that Sanatana Goswami will give the higher, more valuable thing. So he threw the touchstone in the Yamuna and came back. Then Sanatana Goswami gave the most valuable jewel. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So he said this is the most valuable touchstone, which can turn anything and anyone, especially anyone, into pure devotee, into a most valuable jewel. So that's how when we know something valuable, we need to know the value of the thing. Then we can put something behind. So that's why Prabhupada writing here. By knowing this, he could leave aside everything material and even his own body without difficulty of any attachment. So the more we become aware of the valuable thing, the more we can leave the insignificant things. So that's why we keep on hearing everyday Bhagavatam and understanding the value of spiritual life, value of different things in spiritual life, to keep behind everything material, to move towards the spiritual abode, towards Supreme Lord. Now, so the Goswami summarizes his consciousness of in general also for everyone, how it will happen, what will happen, those who take shelter of the Lord. Nottama shloka vartanam jushatam tatkatamritam syat sambramavanta kalepi smaratam tatpadam bhujam. Please read.
Hare Krishna. This was so because those who have dedicated their lives to the transcendental topics of the personality of Godhead, of whom the Vedic hymns sing, and who are constantly engaged in remembering the lotus feet of the Lord, do not run the risk of having misconceptions even at the last moment of their lives.
Yeah, in this verse, especially those who are dedicated their lives for the topics of the Lord, they will not have any misconception at the last moment of death. Especially Parikshit Maharaj, even anyone whoever dedicated their lives to the Lord and His mission. And for anything, we can see great souls like Srila Prabhupada and all the followers of Srila Prabhupada also. You might have seen great souls like His Holiness Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj and His Holiness Srila Swami Maharaj, His Holiness Kadamkara Swami Maharaj recently. All the great souls, how even while leaving the body, of course, leaving body, it's quite Everybody has only one experience in life, right? There is no any second experience. Of course, some may have second chance or near-death experiences, but it's quite rare. But only one experience, so that's a very tough time, as they say. Because I also don't have any experience, but it's quite a tough time. As Prabhupada also mentions, it's a time where it's time when around 40,000 scorpions bites pain that one experiences while leaving the body. Of course, it's talking about normal death, but especially those who are advanced, are trying to advance in spiritual consciousness, they will not have any misconceptions. They will remember definitely, as Krishna himself gives promise in Bhagavad Gita, that he will pick up. In the 12th chapter, he says that I will pick up from ocean of birth and death. So that's how for that we need to dedicate our life. Yeah, that's the preparation. That is like a final exam, and life is like a preparation. So we are preparing. Of course, we are not fearful every minute, but we should be careful for what we are doing, how we are doing, how we are preparing. So that's how we need to prepare our life. So Prabhupada focuses on how we attain to the highest perfection. Can you read the underlining statements?
Yes, Prabhu. When the same is heard from an actual self-realized soul and is properly understood by service and submission, everything becomes transparently clear. Thus, a submissive disciple is able to live transcendentally and continue to the end of life.
Yeah, here the same is heard in the sense that whatever is spoken by spiritual master, or here Sukadeva Swami to Parishit Maharaj, when you heard and is properly understood by service and submission. So Tadvidhi Pranipatena, Prabhupada is quoting, translating here that Tadvidhi Pranipatena Pariprashnena Sevaya Upadekshanti Te Jnanam Jnanina Tattva. So when we understand, when we try to hear, and then we understand by service and submission, then everything becomes quite clear. Whatever life may bring in due course of our journey, but still we will not be deranged by bodily difficulties. Even Kulshekar Maharaj, of course, Kulshekar Maharaj says that idam shariram parinama peshalam paratyavasham shatasandhi jarjaram kimaushadam prithyasi moola dhurmate niramayam Krishna rasayanam pipa. So he's saying that the body is such a machine. It has hundreds and thousands of joints. Every joint is going to give a lot of pain, right? Especially those who are becoming old, and even nowadays 30, 40, 50, it's quite even tough age to deal with the body. So, but still we need to rise slowly by our practice, by our understanding, by our practice both. So by our understanding and practice, we need to consciously rise from the bodily platform to situate ourselves in remembrance of the Lord, or at least to tolerate the bodily demands by keeping something valuable ahead, right? When you have something valuable, even though there is a pain, you don't remember the pain. Let us suppose a person is walking. A person is walking with a load on his head. Porter is walking with a load 50 kilo or 60 kilo or 100 kilo max. They keep on walking heavy, a load on their head. But after some time, if you say that, see, it's not just luggage. There is a lot of gold in the luggage. Then he feels, of course, the luggage doesn't belong to the porter, but he feels quite a kind of a amazing experience. Oh, a lot of gold is there inside. what to speak. If somebody says that is for you, he feels quite, he is elated, he will be jubilant, he will be in ecstasy. Right. Though initially it was very much painful to carry the load, the person. But you know that this is such a valuable thing, that is a very valuable thing. And that valuable thing belongs to us. And then it becomes such a amazing experience itself. So similarly, we are also, it feels like a burden now, waking up early in the morning, chanting around 16 rounds, managing all the responsibilities, going job, working, taking care of children. Everything is like a great burden. But the more we understand that all these responsibilities are for Krishna and for pleasing Krishna, and Krishna is pleased by all our endeavors, trying to take care of children, trying to take care of family, responsibilities. And that is very much pleasing to spiritual master Prabhupada and all the acharyas and Krishna. That is very much giving joy to go ahead with whatever difficulty may appear now, but it will surely, it's a great experience as we go ahead. It's a wealth, it's great wealth that we can experience. Of course, Srila Goswami also gives the example of the jaundice person and sugarcane juice. It may appear very troublesome, it may appear very terrible taste for a jaundice person, but the more we keep on taking it, the more we experience the real taste of sugarcane juice. So yeah, at the end of life, one will not have any misconceptions when one is trying to understand the principles that are being told by spiritual master, when we hear and some service and in submission. So that's the beauty of the Bhakti Yoga. Okay, now he summarized till now what Parikshit Maharaj whole life, and especially in general also he concluded in 4th verse that this will happen to anyone who is dedicated their life to the Supreme Lord. They will not have any misconceptions even at the end of life, just like Parikshit Maharaj when we follow in his footsteps. So from 5 to 9, he very much focuses on Kali, how he dealt with Kali again in summary. What is the nature of Kali, how Kali entered, or how Parikshit Maharaj dealt with Kali, and how Kali entered. That's how he summarizes about Kali's activities in 5 to 9. You will see that one. Tavat kalirna prabhavet pravishtopi ha sarvatah yavadisho maha purvyam abhimanyava ekarat. Please read translation.
As we have already explained, the personality of Kali had entered the jurisdiction of this earth long ago, and he was looking for an opportunity to spread his influence all over.
Translate. Hare Krishna translation. First.
Okay. As long as the great powerful son of Abhimanyu remains the emperor of the world, there is no chance that personality of Kali will flourish.
Yeah, here. So Abhimanyu, son, the Parikshit Maharaj, he was there. So though he gave a place, he didn't allow the Kali to flourish. So that's the beauty. Yeah, please read. The underlying statement you can read.
Yes, Prabhu.
Please read.
Yeah, yes, sir. But he could not do so satisfactorily due to the presence of Maharaj Parikshit. That is the way of good government.
Yeah. The highlight statement.
Although Maharaj Parikshit allotted spaces for the personality of Kali, at the same time he gave no chance for the citizens to be swayed by the personality of Kali.
Yeah. So though he gave different places to Kali, as you heard from various speakers in the previous chapters, how he gave different places to Kali. But he could not flourish satisfactorily. Prabhupada's writing, Kali is not satisfied because of the presence of Parikshit Maharaj. That is the way of good government. Of course, Prabhupada always takes a chance or opportunity to point out the way of government. Also give lessons to all the leaders, how we should manage the society itself. Not only society, good government can be at the level of whole world, can be at the level of a nation, can be level of state, can be at the level of district, can be a level of city, can be level of at home. How we see that there are the elements of Kali everywhere. We cannot say that Kali is not present everywhere. Everyone, I mean, even within our body, the Kali has staying in a different proportions in terms of anarthas. But that's the way of good government in the sense that because we'll see how we explain, how we understand this point. But that's how we need to manage, even in the form of a government and managing the state and managing the house, managing ourselves. We should not allow Kali to flourish. Rather, we need to curb the Kali and its whatever color it is, whatever its propaganda. Kali in the form of not just person, Kali in the form of different elements in the state, in the house, or in the body. There are different expansions of Kali that are working in disguise. So we need to be careful about them, to check them. So how Parishit Maharaj is, what solution how he curtailed, how he curbed the Kali, we will see. But we need to understand that we need to be aware. We need to be aware and we need to be careful about the flourishing of Kali in different places. So he's saying that is a beauty. Prabhupada is saying that at the same time he gave no chance for citizens to be swayed away. So he's taking care of. There are two things. One is Kali is there in one place and citizens are there. So when you have two parties, the one party can attack other. The Kali can attack citizens, and also citizens are maybe very much weak, and they'll also get attracted towards Kali. There is also possibilities there. Both ways can possibilities there. So we need to protect from both sides. It's not just you. Let us suppose you keep Kali within boundaries, and let us suppose citizens only being attracted towards the personality of Kali and different forms. So we need to keep for them also a boundary. So both are in their boundaries. So that's how Parishit Maharaj is focusing on citizens also. So we need to take care of Kali. Do not flourish in different ways. So here, as a Kali, leader is Parishit Maharaj, and Kali is there. Our subordinates or dependents are there. So at the community level, at small level, at home or community level, at a, let us suppose a temple or a state or whatever. But we need to understand Kali has its own good qualities. That's how Parishit Maharaj allotted some places to Kali, which will be explained later. Kali has a beautiful qualities. Not just beautiful qualities, most exalted quality. That's what even sages glorify the Kali for its quality. We'll see later in coming chapters and in future cantos also. That's how he gave a place to Kali, but he gave no chance to citizens to be swayed away by Kali. So of course, we have expansions of Kali, either in home or in ashram, as we think. Mobile and internet are needed. They are needed. Though they are representatives of Kali, they have some use. So we use for very useful purposes. So at the same time, we need to be careful about whoever it may be, either dependents or subordinates in home or in ashram, whoever may be. They need to be cared for. They need to be given a boundary which they cannot cross. So we have, especially we have parental control. So that gives a kind of it's not a beating down, but at the same time giving a kind of a awareness that you are under some supervision. That's how we CCTV. everywhere it's there to bring awareness. Wherever you go, we have any mall, anywhere now, all CCTVs are there. But of course, the closest CCTV is there inside. Krishna is always Upadrashta Hanumanta is real parental control. If you have been aware of his presence. So that's the point we need to come to, that awareness that is there inside us, in everyone's heart as Paramatma, who is the best well-wisher, best friend, so who can take care of us by being aware, by becoming aware of his presence. We can be curtail ourselves, we can be aware, we can more attracted towards him. Not only just have a boundary, just to retain ourselves from Kali, but we can be absorbed in his kind, loving nature by remembering him, by serving him, by practicing all these practices from morning. Of course, in the morning especially, we can and we should. So that's why we need to be, we should not give any chance to Kali to flourish. At the same time, we also need to keep boundaries to ourselves. So at individual level, also maybe in the house or ashram, it can be a community level, small community ashram and a big community home. So individual level also, we are like a leader. Soul is like leader, and Kali is there with different subordinates and senses. Prabhupada writes in beautiful purports in second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, how Indriyan, third chapter, where the section comes of how Kamayesha, Krodesha, the lust is the eternal enemy. He talks how the enemy has taken different positions, strategic positions. When Krishna explains this, it is staying in the intelligence, in the mind, and the senses. Everywhere its influence is there. There Prabhupada writes, the enemy has taken its strategic positions. So we need to be very careful to curb it, to control it. So in Puranjan story also, in future cantos, you will read that body is compared to kingdom. Soul is a king. So we need to be careful about its influences, though it's residing inside us. Kali has influence inside us, but we need to be checking its influence, not flourishing, but decreasing its influence by everyday reading, chanting, hearing, at least very having a concentrated time for sadhana. And only it's possible. Otherwise, it's quite tough to, especially in the day and age, where Kali's influence is quite rampant, internally and externally. So how to curb it, we will see. How Parshit Maharaj curbed it or controlled it, we will see in the future verses. Yasmin hanir eva Bhagavan utsasarjagam tadaiva anupritoswa adharma prabhava kalihi. Please read.
The very day and moment the personality of Godhead Lord Shri Krishna left this earth, the personality of Kali, who promotes all kinds of irreligious activities, came into this world.
Please read the highlighted portion.
If there is an arrangement for the constant chanting of the holy names, qualities, etc. of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there is no chance at all for the personality of Kali to enter.
Yeah. No. So to stop Kali, especially Kali in the sense that quarrel and hypocrisy, and also in various ways, not only these are the main things, Kali means that quarrel and hypocrisy, but in terms of cheating, in terms of all these kind of various ways in which quarrel and hypocrisy manifests, Kali manifests. We can only control our curb by chanting or making a glorification of the Lord as a main activity, constant chanting of the holy names. That is the technique of driving away personality of Kali from the world. Prabhupada is cutting from the world itself, not to speak of from our hearts. from our homes, from our states, countries, and the world itself. So that's how we need to. Then how to spread it on a broader scale. So his Prabhupada is always is a Yukta Vairagya. He's focused on that principle. How we should drive away the Kali from the world. He's saying that because everyone is using radio and television for the mass distribution of this propaganda. If the state arranges to distribute the tranquil sound by resounding holy name, fame, and activities of the Lord, as they are authoritatively given in Bhagavad-gita Bhagavatam, then it's possible. Yeah, nothing is bad if properly used for the service of the Lord. So that's how. That's the only thing. That's the only thing that's possible in this age of Kali, to protect ourselves and even to propagate the whole movement. Not only protecting oneself, but propagate. We need to Bhruvat Mridanga, as Srila Bhaktivedanta Rajavidyalaya always mentions. Of course, I mean, everybody has their own area of influence. So whatever we can, at least to ourselves, but we can help in the movement, whatever we can. So that's the thing. Yukta Vairagya, that's Prabhupada is focusing on that aspect. How Kali entered. How now we will see how Parishit Maharaj towards his acceptance towards Kali, his view towards Kali. Nanudveshti Kalin Samrat Saranga Iva Sarabhu Kuchalani Asu Siddhyanti Netarani Krutani Yat. Please read. Translation. Hare Krishna.
Maharaj Parikshit was a realist like the bee who accepts only the essence of a flower. He knew perfectly well that in this age of Kali, auspicious acts produce good effects immediately, whereas inauspicious acts must be actually performed to render effects. So he was never envious of the personality of Kali.
Can you read the blue highlighted region?
The king protected his subjects from falling prey to the sinful acts of the age of Kali, and at the same time, he gave full facility to the personality of Kali by allotting him some particular places.
See, he has done both ways. He did. He protected his subjects from falling prey to sinful acts. At the same time, he gave full facility to the personality of Kali. That's the paradox. No, he's giving, but he's not giving. Yeah, Supreme Lord has he is saying, Prabhupada is saying, so by will of the Lord, a living being does not become a victim of a sinful act until the nature of the Kali is glorified here. Sarangiva Sarabuk. He is taking the essence from the Kali. Just like the essence of flower is honey. It's like a bee takes the essence. So Parishit Maharaj is taking out the essence from the Kali. What are the speciality of this Kali Yuga? The speciality is that if one thinks any good activity or pious activity, so it is as good as being done, and you will get the result. So in this age, a living being in this age is awarded with the results of pious activity simply by thinking of them. But a living being does not become a victim of sinful act until the act is actually performed. This is the nature of Kali, or the quality of Kali. That's how it's best out. Of course, it doesn't give license that okay, we think that we chanted 16 rounds. I'll get the result of 16 rounds. We need to chant the mantras 16 rounds every day. That's on a practical platform. These are about pious activities, especially raising towards spiritual life. We need to do the activities. At the same time, the sinful thoughts or sinful words or sinful actions, they start with the thoughts level, at the thought level, though there is no reaction for the sinful thoughts in the age of Kali, but we need to be careful that generally thoughts doesn't remain at the thought level. They may grow more and more if you are not careful. So they may grow and they may they may grow and they may come to words and they may come to actions also later on. So same with offensive thoughts also. So offensive thoughts also may not have a reaction in one sense, but also one should not think about offensively even towards other Vaishnavas. Generally it may happen. We may think offensively, but in due course of time it will have a bad effect on our consciousness. So we need to be careful about not only sinful thoughts, even offensive thoughts as well. So instead of that, we need to cultivate a positive, appreciative thoughts about others, and doing prayers. Having a spiritual thoughts, trying to cultivate those thoughts, trying to not only cultivate the thoughts and desires, thoughts becoming cultivating as a desires, but bringing them to actions as well. More and more doing those things what we are desiring. So I may thought, okay, we will go to Mangalarti once in a week or once in 15 days. And the thought may remain at thought level sometime, but it has to transform into desire level also at some time, and then has to transform into action level, whatever possible. So basically we keep on growing in our positive level thoughts and in towards spiritual life. That is the beauty of Kali Yuga. That's what mentioned. Though if people think about past activities as good as giving them, as good as it is done, that's the beauty of Kali. So seeing that Parishit Maharaj took the advantage of Kali and he gave a place, and at the same time he protected the citizens, falling prey to them. So as Prabhupada is mentioning here, the most important advantage of Kali. Can someone read the highlighted portion?
Yashika Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Can I read?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. One can attain salvation simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord. The Lord becomes at once arrested within one's heart.
Yeah. So these are the advantages Prabhupada is quoting from different verses of Bhagavatam. So just by chanting the holy names, one can attain salvation. And Bhagavan Hriday Hridi, the Bhagavan will stay in the heart. Because in the first chapter also, it's mentioned how Lord is arrested within one's heart just by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam. So these are the wonderful advantages of Kali. How Parishit Maharaj took advantages. At the same time, he protects the citizens. Next it was Kim nu baleshu surena kalina dhira bhiruna apramatta pramatteshu yo vruko nrushu vartate. Please read. Translation.
Maharaj Parikshit considered that less intelligent men might find the personality of Kali to be very powerful, but that those who are self-controlled would have nothing to fear. The king was powerful like a tiger and took care of the foolish, careless persons.
Yeah. So Kali is very much like a tiger. In the sense, the king was powerful like a tiger and took care of foolish persons. And also, Vishnu Thakur mentions the Kali was also like a tiger who attacks the innocent and inattentive people. But here, Parishit Maharaj is equally powerful like a tiger. He is caring for innocent and foolish and careless persons. So unless one is thoughtful and thoroughly intelligent, one cannot be a devotee of the Lord. Those who are not devotees of the Lord fall prey to the actions of Kali. Prabhupada is giving generally a devotee is intelligent in the sense that he understands what is the world, what we are doing here, what need to be done. So that's how they are not falling prey to the actions of Kali. The actual devotee, the intelligent devotee. Non-devotees are careless. I mean, people are in general, they are very careless about whatever they do and whatever they eat, whatever they think. They think that it's normal. I mean, there is no need to worry. But devotees are quite intelligent to understand what is what. How we need to be careful in life. So these are all dealings with Kali, and the last verse is talking about how he's till now he's summarizing about Kali's qualities and how Parikshit dealt with the Kali. And now Sota Goswami is saying here to addressing the sages. Upavarnitam yetadva punyam parikshitam maya vasudeva katopetam akyanam yadapritchata.
O sages, translation, O sages, as you did ask me, now I have described almost everything regarding the narrations about Lord Krishna in connection with the history of the pious Maharaj Parikshit. Purport.
Yeah, please.
Purport. Srimad Bhagavatam is the history of the activities of the Lord, and the activities of the Lord are performed in relation with the devotees of the Lord. Therefore, the history of the devotees is not different from the history of the Lord Krishna's activities. A devotee of the Lord regards both the activities of the Lord and those of his pure devotees on an equal level, for they are all transcendent.
So here Prabhupada is glorifying the narrations of devotee. Of course, the whole Bhagavatam itself is narrations of devotees plus the Lord. It's both. Glorifying the Lord and glorifying devotees is the same, is non-different. Therefore, hearing about devotees, hearing their life, hearing especially the acharyas, is non-different from hearing the glories of Krishna, the Supreme Lord. So he's summarizing here that I have described everything about Lord Krishna in relation to Parikshit Maharaj. So, of course, there is a beautiful verse in Chaitanya Bhagavat. It says that Srila Navdas Thakur says that Hey vachana morana hai sarva shastra kai bhakta kya na sunile Krishna te bhakti hoy. He's saying that this is not my statement, but it's a verdict of all scriptures. What is that? Simply by hearing topics about devotees, one develops devotion for Krishna. So bhakta kya na sunile Krishna te bhakti hoy. So that's why we celebrate great devotees, his appearance days. We hear about them. We hear about their qualities, their activities. So that is also equally powerful. And rather, Prabhupada writes in one of the purports in first canto that hearing or rendering service to devotees is more potent than serving the Lord himself. So that's, of course, because of the mercy of the Supreme Lord bestowed on the devotees. But that is the potency of the Lord. That is the potency of the Lord given to his devotees. Just like Hanuman and Ram. Hanuman built a whole bridge. I mean, Ram threw a stone and it went down on the stone. So he was flabbergasted. What happened? So that's the Lord himself bestows special mercy on devotees to be more powerful than himself. He's glorifying the katha of Sota Goswami is glorifying katha of devotees in relation to the Supreme Lord. Yaya katha bhagavatah kataniyoru karmanah gunakarma shraya kumbhi samsevyasta bhabushibihi. Is it?
Those who are desirous of achieving complete perfection in life must submissively hear all topics that are connected with the transcendental activities and qualities of the personality of Godhead, who acts wonderfully.
The underlying statements.
Systematic hearing means knowing him gradually in truth and fact. And this knowing him in truth and fact means attaining eternal life, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah. So must submissively hear all topics that are connected with transcendental activities. So where we keep on hearing Shrunvatam Sukata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanaha Hridyantasto Bhadrani Vidhanoti Suprani. So we keep on hearing systematic hearing, especially in Bhakti Vaibhava. These courses are exclusively designed to systematic hearing from first canto to 12th canto. So the systematic hearing helps us more and more deeper understanding in truth and fact about Krishna and the devotional life. So that's the way of attaining perfection. So that's how Srila Goswami concluded here his narrations about Parikshit Maharaj and his activities, especially his birth and his living, his activities and his leaving the body, how he attained the Lord in first 2-3 verses. And then he explained about the Kali connection with Parikshit, how he dealt with Kali. And now the Rishis are speaking to Srila Goswami. They are asking. So because whatever is asked to Srila Goswami to describe about Parikshit Maharaj, he described. And he said, I described whatever he asked. Now Rishis are asking. Rashya Uchuhu Sutajiva Sama Saumya Shashwatir Vishadam Yashaha Yastvam Samsachi Krishnasya Martyanam Amrutam Hinaha. Please read. Yeah.
The good sages said, O grave Suta Goswami, may you live many years and have external fame. For you are speaking very nicely about the activities of Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead. This is just like nectar for mortal beings like us.
Please read the underline and highlighted version.
Sages bless Suta Goswami, making us drink nectar of Krishna Katha. Thus, he does not act or take his birth like an ordinary living being under the custody of material energy. Therefore, the more we hear about the transcendental activities of the Lord,
Hare Krishna.
Therefore,
I
more
think,
we hear about the transcendental activities of the Lord, as they are stated in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, the more we can know about his transcendental nature and thus make definite progress on the path back to Godhead.
So the more we hear, the more we know, the more we can progress. So here, the sages were so blissful and so satisfied with Sutta Goswami, Shaunakadi Rishis of Naimisharanya. They are feeling like they are drinking nectar by hearing the activities and the glories of Supreme Lord. All the chapters from started with Kunti Maharani's prayers from 8th chapter. Of course, before that also the history of Bhagavatam, how it came and all. So they were very much pleased and they are very much a blessing from their heart. May you live for many years because you speak Krishna, about Krishna always. So here Prabhupada is focusing on, we keep on hearing more and more. So we can understand more and more, then we can progress more and more. Yeah. Text 12. Karmanyasmin anaswase dhuma dhumratmanam bhavan apayayati govinda pada padmasavam madhu. Yeah, please read translation.
Hare Krishna. We have just begun the performance of this fruitive activity, a sacrificial fire, without certainty of its result. due to many imperfections in our action. Our bodies have become black from the smoke, but we are factually pleased to be pleased by the nectar of the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, Govinda, which you are distributing.
Yeah. Yeah, so they are contrasting with the sacrifice and the nectarian Krishna Katha, that is Sutta Goswami speaking. What they started with. So they started with Satam Sahasrataha, 1,000-year sacrifice. They started Swargaya, Lokaya. Of course, there are two understandings, but mainly they wanted to good to the people of the world. So they started the sacrifice, 1,000-year sacrifice. But they are saying we don't know. We are not certain about its result. And there can be many imperfections. And our body is becoming black from the smoke. So practically, they are frustrated with that activity. They're full of smoke and full of doubts. First of all, doing activity itself becoming just like if you are cooking on a chula, and then it's quite tough to cook on top. If you are a new person to cook on firewood, it's quite tough to cook on wood stove. So we don't know even what will happen to the the preparation. It's not very certain what will come out. That's the way they are feeling, that the sacrifice itself is and we are not certain. So we understand that either to help ourselves or others, concern is necessary. Definitely we need to be concerned about ourselves or others to help. But that is not just sufficient. You should understand the process also, how to do it. That's a concern. Definitely the sages wanted to do some good to the world. They have that concern, but how to do it, they were unaware at that time. So they started that sacrifice. Now they are becoming kind of frustrated with that sacrifice, as they're mentioning here. So we need to know the actual process. Is glorifying the Supreme Lord, as they will mention here now. The previous was also they mentioned that just by hearing the glories of the Lord, we are drinking nectar. So here Prabhupada mentions that sacrificial fire kindled by sages of ninth Saranya was certainly full of smoke. The sages were full of doubts because so many flaws in such activities. Because Prabhupada mentions about how all the in Kali Yuga there are no any ingredients but to do sacrifice, even Brahmanas who are expert in recitation of the mantras. So it's quite tough to perform a good sacrifice which can yield the results. So that's the sage is not at all for sacrifices. But on the other hand, as a Sankirtana Yagya, so that kind of Yagya, Vedic Yagya, is not possible. But Sankirtana Yagya is very, very, very easy. At the same time, there are definite results. Prabhupada writes here, one can feel this practically as one can feel the result of eating food. Spiritual realization acts in that way. Hearing the messages of the Lord, they are feeling drinking like nectar. And they are hearing from Sutta Goswami. So that's what Prabhupada is mentioning, that they are actually feeling that that kind of a taste, in contrast with the sacrificial fire. Of course, Prabhupada quotes various scriptures to establish how it's only a labor to do many sacrifices in this age. So nothing can be performed for spiritual realization or for material benefit also. Can be successful without devotional service to the Lord. So devotional service, chanting the holy names of the Lord, or anything in connection with the Lord has to be there to make it a successful process in this age of Kali. So then they glorify Sutta Goswami in this verse. Now they are glorifying, till now they are contrasting their whatever they did and what they are doing. And the personality they are glorifying now, who is distributing that nectar. They are glorifying him now. Yeah. Tolayamalavenapi na swargam na punarbhavam bhagavat sangi sangasya martyanam kimutashishaha. Yeah, please read.
The value of a moment's association with a devotee of the Lord cannot be compared even with the value of attaining the heavenly planets or liberation from matter. And what to speak of worldly benedictions in the form of material prosperity, which are for those who are meant for death.
Yeah. So here they are saying they are questioning. We cannot even compare. What is there is no comparison at all. The Sangha of the devotee, Bhagavad Sangi Sangasya. So Bhagavad Sangi Sangasya, just like Sutta Goswami, who is giving such a nectarian katha. So we cannot compare to Swarga, na Swargam, na Punarbhavam. Prabhupada explains here more detail about how going to Swarga, people are very much attracted to Swarga for advancement of material enjoyment. And Apunarbhavam. Apunarbhavam means there is a liberation. And one who is frustrated with all kinds of advancement, or one who is in a lot of pain, one who wants to be relieved, one wants to be liberated from the pain. So we cannot even compare to Apunarbhavam also. So this means that the pure devotees are of Lord are engaged in transcendental existence, namely in the loving service of the Lord, both in the material world and spiritual world. So for the devotees, they are always liberated. That is how he contrasting with this Karma Yoga. You might have read in Bhakti Shastri, Karma Yoga. Those people, their goal is Swarga, material enjoyment. Jnana Yoga, their goal is liberation, Apunarbhavam. They want to relieve from all the pain, the material pain, and they want to go to liberation, they want to go to Brahmajyoti. But for pure devotees, they are always relishing the wonderful loving service to the Lord, either in this world or in the spiritual world. So that's how they are always in transcendental existence, both in the material world and spiritual world. So he's giving example like a government servant is always same, either it is in office or at home or at any other place. So similarly, devotee has nothing to do with anything material because he is engaged in service of the Lord. So that's how the bhakta is contrasted with the karmi and the jnani here. So the glory of association is explained here. We cannot even compare with any other thing of this material world. So such association is always desirable, worshipable, and praiseworthy, and one may accept it as highest goal of life. So that is the association is the backbone of spiritual advancement. So if you might have heard that 9 stages of progressive path of devotional service, starting with Shraddha to Prema. So this is all the backbone of the Bhaktilata is Sadhu Sangha at every level, starting from Shraddha to till Prema. Sadhu Sangha is the one that takes ahead. So in our process, in our progress. So that's how we need to be always looking forward to meet and talk and share with great souls, those who visit, especially in ISKCON NVCC. There is always opportunity, and many great souls keep on visiting. And whatever possible opportunity we need to take, we need to come and hear and serve whatever way is possible. Now GBC meetings are also coming up. Quite rare situation. Maybe we can at least have darshan of them, hearing from them, associating with them, serving them. Any level is a great a boon for all of us. So here Vishwanath Thakur is amazing comparison he gives. What is the value of association of devotees? I'll just read. We will not even compare the blessings of this world, such as a kingdom, with that. With that means Bhagavad Sangi Sangha, Bhagavad Sangi. That is because by association with the devotees, the sprout of bhakti, which is the most rare, appears. Let us not compare even the full results of karma and jnana with the particle of associating of devotees who is doing sadhana bhakti. He is comparing the full results of karma and jnana with a particle of association who is doing sadhana bhakti. Sadhana bhakti, he may be struggling with all others also. He is much better, he is saying, associating with him than the karmi and jnana. What then to speak of extended association, and what to speak of associating with a devotee having bhava, the result of sadhana, and what to speak of associating with a devotee having prema. So the imperative form is used to indicate impossibility, means no possibility at all. You cannot compare only. You cannot compare mustard seed to Mount Meru. His Vishnu Chakata's the confidence and in the glory of bhakti is quite amazing. In the bhakti and in the bhakta and his association. So we need to take advantage of all these whoever visits to our temple and their association. Of course, I mean our founder-acharya Srila Prabhupada, his association is always we are taking through by reading his books, by hearing about him, hearing from him. Always we take association. So now they glorify the katha. Now they glorified the devotee, and the glorification of katha is given. O nama tripye rasavit kathaya mahatamaikanta parayanasya nantam gunanam agunasya jagmur yogeshwaraye bhavapadma mukhya. Yeah, please read.
The personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna Govinda, is the exclusive shelter for all great living beings, and his transcendental attributes cannot even be measured by such masters of the mystic powers as Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. Can anyone who is expert in relishing nectar, rasa, ever be fully satisfied by hearing topics about him?
Yeah. Can you read the underlined statement and the highlighted?
No end to glory of greatness of the Lord by great demigods. What to speak of sweetness, no satiation. Brahma is counted amongst the living beings, but he is the greatest of all of us. And why is the greatest of all the living beings so much attached to the transcendental topics of Lord Krishna? Because he is the reservoir of all enjoyment.
Yeah. So here the great demigods like Brahma and Shiva, they are glorifying, but the greatness of the Lord, they are unable to come to an end. And what to speak of sweetness? Sweetness of the Lord, as Prabhupada mentioning, he is because he is a reservoir of all enjoyments. Akila Rasamrita Murti, Krishna is described in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Bhakshasi might have read. Akila Rasamrita Murti, Krishna is embodiment of all rasas, reservoir of all enjoyment of different rasas. So, what to speak of sweetness? They are unable to come to end by different glorifying different greatness. Our Prabhupada explains here how Shiva drank poison, how Brahma is a powerful demigod, he's creating everything, but still they are unable to come to an end. But they are also very much attached to transcendental topics of Lord Krishna because he is a reservoir of sweetness. So here Prabhupada writes, everyone wants to release some kind of taste in everything. But one who is engaged in transcendental loving service with the Lord can derive unlimited pleasure from such engagement. So that's the beauty of Bhakti. Bhakti has that kind of a juice, rasa, which everyone is hankering to taste in different ways. Prabhupada writes in a beautiful introduction of NY or NOD. He writes about, I think, NOD, where he writes about the Chapala Sukha and spiritual rasa. He compares with that one. Everyone is trying to taste some mellow. So, but devotees, there is no satiation. Prabhupada explains about how yogis are tasting that rasa. Ramante yogino anante satyananda jatmani iti rampadena asau param brahma vidiyate. So, in mundane affairs, there is law of satiation, but in transcendence, there is no such satiation. So, in the transcendental topics, There is no saturation at all. Yeah. So that's the nature of Lord's topics. Definitely, it's quite difficult to experience right now. Of course, some of you might be definitely experiencing, but in conditions it's quite difficult to continue katha for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. Just sit and hear or read or chant. Quite difficult. But still, it's the nature itself is the objectively the object has a kind of nature, but subjectively we may not be able to experience. Just like sugarcane juice, the example is given. Sugarcane juice, the jaundice person can't taste it. So, but still, the more we keep on drinking regularly, every day, with respect, kintu adarat anudinam kalusaiva justva swadikramat bhavati tadgatamulahante. Daily, we keep on taking with respect, then we can develop a little bit taste more and more. So now he's glorified the katha, glorified his devotee, and what is the qualities of the speaker, the qualities of hearer, and the qualities of katha is summarizing in this verse. Why we are tasting and how it is become a great taste. It's explaining in this verse the causes. Tanno bhavan vai bhagavat pradhano mahattamaikanта parayanasya harerudaram charitam vishuddham shushruchatam no vitanot vidvan. Yeah, please read.
Sutta Goswami.
Yeah, translation.
Sutta Goswami.
Your voice is breaking.
Uh-huh.
And the pure devotee of the Lord, because the personality of Godhead is your chief object of service. Therefore, please describe to us the pastimes of the Lord which are above all material conception, for we are anxious to receive such messages. When such
Please read, highlight this.
When such a combination is possible, namely a qualified speaker and qualified audience, it is then and there very much congenial to continue discourses on the transcendence. There is no motive for material gain. Bhagavad Saptas are held for Bhagavad Saptaha are held for 7 days only, and after finishing the show, both the audience and the speaker become engaged in material activities as usual. They do so because the speaker is not Bhagavad Pradhan and the audience is not Shushrishata, as explained above.
Yeah, so here the verse is very much, of course, the 18th chapter is filled with a lot of very powerful and condensed verses and amazing verses to discuss. But sorry to that we lost some time. At the same time, it took our some verses, but this is one of the most important verses. The qualities of the speaker and qualities of the hearer, audience, and qualities of the subject, the topic is explained here. Why they are not feeling satiation? There is no satiation because the speaker's object is Krishna. He is very much in love with Krishna. Bhagavad Pradhana. Shushrutam, we are anxious to receive both. So because of that, they are feeling great taste. The speaker and as well as the qualified speaker and qualified audience, both has to be there. So then there is a possibility of a nectarian katha. Though you may be feeling a lot of boredom in my katha, but still, because Prabhupada is speaking, we are hearing, we can definitely release more. And that's how the nature of katha, the spiritual topics. The qualified audience, in the sense Prabhupada is defining as the verses itself is defining Bhagavad Pradhana, that he is more dedicated to the service of the Lord, in the sense that he is in the transcendent loving service of the Lord. Just like in current, if you see example of a current, if there is a high potential, the current flows from high potential to low potential. Then there will be then there will be high voltage. So there has to potential difference. So there has to be a qualified speaker, just like Prabhupada, who is very much potent in his katha, in his dedication to his Lord. We see the Shushrusdam, especially when Prabhupada went, August and September months. Of course, this by Tithi wise, we celebrate. I mean, we just noted down that I think yesterday or day before yesterday, Prabhupada reached USA by Tithi wise. But date wise, September 18th, he reached USA. See, we can see in the initial years how Prabhupada transformed. He is Bhagavad Pradhana. He is so much dedicated to the service of the Lord. And the audience are also so much anxious to receive. That's how there was a great thunderbolts, the voltage difference of change in their lives. So that's the nature of Krishna Katha, that will have effects on our lives when a speaker is very much qualified and audience also very much eager to receive. So, but Prabhupada here contrasting that if that is not the case, just like Bhagavad Sapta, those who have motives, here motives means wrong motives, material motives. They will not be satisfied. There is satiation. They will be satisfied. They don't have any, they don't want to hear more. They are just happy with whatever Sapta, that's it. No satiation will happen only when they have no motivation. And if we have any kind of material motivations, we'll be bored, we'll be frustrated, or we'll be tired, we'll be satiated. Enough. So that will happen only just like this verse is saying, Ahitapi apritata ye atma suprasidati.
Exportersindia.com.
So when there is no material motive, then only we can relish the Krishna Katha. This is the pivotal for our bhakti. Our central defining words for bhakti, Anya Vilashita Shunyam, Jnana Karma Dhyanavrutam, Anukulena Krishna Anushilnam Bhaktirottama. So this Haitupiya Pradhyata is the central point. Yeah, that's how we can also reach Krishna Katha. So we will take this verse is why maybe we can continue in the next section. We'll try to complete more in the next session anyway. But if you have any one question, we can take. Otherwise, we'll pause here. Or if time allows, maybe we can. What do you say, Anish bro? Solid 429.
If there are no questions, we can take one more verse.
Yeah. We have a specific question. If at all, if you understand anything. Okay. We'll continue with one verse. Savai Mahabhag. Yeah. Please speak. Unmute. Anish bro, unmute.
Yes, Prabhuji. Sorry, I have a question.
Yeah, please. Hare Krishna, please speak.
Yes, Prabhuji. Just a second. Prabhuji, in Bhagavad Gita, we read शरीर त्याग के समय की चेतना भविष्य के जन्म को निर्धारित करती है. It's 8.6 verse, and also the कृष्ण का स्मरण व्यक्ति को कृष्ण के पास ले जाता है. Basically, and in the end,
yeah.
Prabhuji, just a second. हमने actually we read in Bhagavad Gita that मृत्यु के समय के विचार भविष्य के जन्म का निर्धारण करते हैं। और सेकंड इन वर्स 8.5 एंड ऑल्सो वी रेड जीवन भर की चेतना की अवस्था को अगले शरीर में ले जाया जाता है। तो प्रभु जी मतलब हाउ these both things act, I mean.
Antakala Mameva Swanmukta Kalevaram. Those who remember Krishna, Krishna is giving a principle here. Whoever remembers me, specific case is giving in the 5th verse. So whoever thinks of me, he will come to me. But the 6th verse is just giving the principle. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam. Whoever remembers. The specific case is given in the 5th verse. Whoever remembers me, they will come to me. But in general, yeah, yam vapi smaran bhavam. Whoever remembers, whatever they remember, tam tameveti kaunteya sada tat bhavi bhavati. So devotees, they keep on striving to remember Krishna. So they strive to remember Krishna even throughout life, even at the end of life, they will remember by the mercy of the Lord. They will go to Krishna. But what is your specific question in that?
Prabhuji, whatever we are doing in our whole life, then how the end time idea, I mean, that is that goes to the next birth. I mean, whatever we are doing our whole life, then it should goes to the next. Basically, वो सूक्ष्म शरीर, I mean, gross body create करता है ना, basically.
Correct.
So end time का जो thought है वो कैसे फिर consciousness transfer कर रहा है, मतलब next body में कैसे transfer कर रहा है?
Yeah, here as I understood your question, so whether the whole life activities has to be influencing the next body, why it is specifically mentioned only at the end of life? Is that your question?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, the whole life activities. Krishna is saying here that definitely in the conclusion that whatever remembers here means that definitely we remember only whatever we have done, the whole life activities, whatever we do, that will only we can remember at the end of life. It will be, one will keep on adding in our memory whatever we are trying to do in life. That's our consciousness will be, or basically the transmigration from one body to another. As the soul is going from one body to another, it takes the consciousness, the subtle body goes with that. And whatever impressions are there in the consciousness, in the subtle body, same kind of body will happen, will be taken by the soul. So that's why it said, so the end of life, we can remember only what we do in the whole life. So that's the meaning here. Though he's saying that only it's not a specific point, okay? It's not that I will do whatever I want to do in the whole life, and then I will keep my revolver on my head and say, Hare Krishna, and shoot myself, and I go to Krishna Loka. It doesn't happen like that. it doesn't happen like that. It's not the meaning of the words. But generally, it's the whole life preparation, what we experience in the end of life. That's the meaning. Just like in exam, we remember whatever we prepared in the whole semester, right? Yes. So whatever you write in exam, depending on that only marks will happen. Is it not? The marks of your exam, I mean that decides whatever you write in exam. Whatever you prepare, that only you can remember in exam. So it's similar. Whatever you prepare the whole life, you will remember at the time of leaving the body. So that's how the exam results will be given to you. So similarly here, is it making some sense?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So we try to cultivate the consciousness and mold our life in such a way that we keep on remembering Krishna. And tomorrow I will show you one verse. I didn't show today because of lack of time, but there is a beautiful verse by Srila Ramanujacharya. He said that, not he said, but he quoted from Vaman Puran, And there is a beautiful verse saying that if a devotee can't remember Krishna at the time of death, that he will remember. Krishna will remember him, the devotee. So that's the, I think in the future verse, I think it will come. I will show you the verse from one of the famous Purana. So there it says that if a devotee is unable to remember because of Vata Pitta, then I will remember him. So that is the nature of Lord. So we need not worry that how I will remember Krishna. But our part is that we need to strive, endeavor to remember Krishna, do all activities to please Krishna, to please his representatives and the spiritual masters. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So we pause here for today. So then we'll try to cover more in the next sessions. Thank you very much for your patient hearing. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. We would like to thank His Grace Keshav Prabhu for taking out his time. So thank you so much, Prabhu, for taking this session very nicely. Actually, we have next session not tomorrow. We'll be having it next Saturday. Tomorrow, life is a preparation and death is examination. So, so they have exam tomorrow. Okay. And first canto is coming to the closure. So I have been monitoring devotees participation, attendance, videos on, videos off, and also we have a system from BBRV. All glories to the modern technology. So BBRV Zoom has installed a very nice app. Anuj Prabhu, even if it takes attendance or not, they are going to get attendance there. So the time amount of videos on off is also going to be monitored there. So that we are going to launch from second canto onwards. And anybody has less than 75% in the unit, Anuj Prabhu is not responsible for it. The BVRV Zoom app is responsible for it. And so what is important from your side is, best is if your couple are going to attend, then their both videos, they should be visible in the video. Otherwise, if the names are there and couple is not visible, only the person who is visible, he will be marked present for the thing. And the name, app is not going to see the name, app is going to see the person. Okay, so these are some of the important inputs. And sometimes what happens is devotees log in and then they read some part and they log off. That will also not work. That will be, I think it's a paid version of Zoom where easily it comes. Generally we do it for our one-time programs, Discover Yourself courses. We do it when the boys joined in, when he logged off, and then accordingly we certify him. So same thing. Because then what happens, the batch coordinator or the course coordinator, he becomes responsible, and devotee starts seeing him, or a Prabhuji ne mark nahi kiya mera attendance, Prabhuji ne mujhe absent kar diya. So it's not like that. And from iBox, ISKCON Board of Examination, minimum 75% marks attendance with videos on is a minimum criteria. So hope this is just a reminder for all of you. And also Shloka test is approaching very soon, 16th October. Please do prepare. We will have first canto, first part on 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th. The second part, Jan onwards. Jan first week, mostly Jan 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, like that one. So we'll complete the first canto Shloka test. And also, tomorrow is your Unit 5 closed book exam. Unit 6 closed book exam will be on 29th, Saturday. 29th, Saturday of this month. So please prepare yourself, because 3 more units sessions are remaining for completing 18th chapter and 19th chapter. So Keshav Prabhu will try to finish it. And by 29th, one day will give you gap. Second canto, first chapter will start. The next week, Saturday, 29th October, we will have Unit 6 closed book exam. Okay, and open book, closed book, open book exam submission will be like tomorrow. Your closed book exam, Open book submission will also be on Monday. That is, tomorrow is 8th, 9th. Okay. And accordingly, the open book submission for the unit 6 will be 29th October, and 1 week after that, 5th November. Before you go to the Karthik and other things, we want to complete unit first canto, close book, OBS, shloka test. Any concerns any devotees have?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, unit 6, we did not receive the question.
For open book?
Closed book.
Close
unit
book,
6.
Anushka sent it, already has received it. He will say, I think he has sent it in the WhatsApp group, unit 1 questions.
Unit 6, I sent CBA.
Unit 5.
Unit 5 OBA. Mataji means OBA, I think. Sorry, Unit 6 OBA.
Unit 6.
Unit 6 OBA I will send it today. Okay, because according to the planned version, last week was supposed to be the exam. We postponed it. So tomorrow will be the exam, and OBA you can complete it next by 10th October, by Wednesday. Then with shloka test, we'll proceed from October 16th onwards. So 6 unit OBA, I'll try to send it today to Anush Prabhu. He will circulate with all of you. Okay. Anush Prabhu? Fine. Yeah. Yes, Mataji.
Close book for unit 6. That is also sent.
That is, yeah, I think unit 6.
I think it is sent, Mataji. I'll just confirm.
Because Anush Prabhu sent me mail regarding unit 6. I saw it. And in unit 6 also there are some OBAs mentioned in close book questions. So wherever there is personal application, preaching application, you can just leave it aside. One good thing for all of you is the number of OBAs will be very less for you. So Baj Hari Prabhu is asking, where is unit 5 OBA? You can contact Anush Prabhu for that, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, yes. And regarding on unit 6 OBA, I'll try to send it by today evening or tomorrow. Okay. Before November 5th, we want to complete all first canto 1, OBS, CBS, and shloka test. Then happily you can go to Karthik. And then once Karthik, after that we'll resume with second canto, chapter 2. Hare Krishna. If anybody has any concerns, you can let us know.
Prabhuji, we have not received any marks of any CBA.
You will receive it on Jan 2024. Yes.
All the CBAs, okay.
Yes, yes. Once you complete Canto 1, the whole gross marks of all 6 units, CBA, OBA, you will get it in Jan. 3rd week of Jan.
Thank you.
Yes. All of you will do. Anyways, one thing, one input for all of you. Marks are not going to be reflected like Bhakti Shastri. The marks will not be reflected in any of your Bhakti Vaibhava certificate. It will be like certified that a devotee, your name has completed Bhakti Vaibhava course successfully. Marks will not come, but still the marks list will be sent to all of you through the mail from BVRB individually to your mail ID with inputs. Yes. Any other concerns? Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, Hari Bol.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, we joined the course, almost 12 lectures after it started. So, unit 1 is pending, so that also will have to... This is Sriji Devidasi, Prabhuji.
Okay, I think it's sound coming there, but I'm not able to hear it. Yes, Mataji, please tell me. Your unit 1 is pending.
I joined the course after 12 lectures. Yes, Prabhuji. So that also will have to finish before second unit starts.
Okay, you joined the course after 12 classes.
Yes, Prabhuji. Second unit was half done.
Okay, second unit done means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is
almost 12.
Two units. One unit has 8 classes. 2 units have 16 classes. So you miss 12 classes.
Yes. So second and third unit.
Whatever recordings are there, you can hear it. Once you hear it, please update Anush Prabhu. Ideally, what is supposed to be done is when next BVRV batch of Bhaktivedanta starts, either in English or Hindi, you can attend and get the attendance from there. And then you can write the exam for that Unit 1, Unit 2. Otherwise, Unit 3, Unit 4, Unit 5, Unit 6, Unit 7, Unit 8. On Unit 3 onwards, you can write the examination for OBA and CBA. But for if you have to write Unit 1 and Unit 2, you need to attend it online when it is going on. That is the criteria of ISKCON Board of Examination.
Okay.
Okay. So, but this is a criteria. So, if when the first next batch of any Hindi Bhaktivedanta or English Bhaktivedanta starts, you can hear in that. And we know what can this course will go for next 2-3 years. So, surely next 6 months, 1 year, the new batch will start. So there you can complete that unit.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Thanks. Wonderful.
So no other queries?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, I think I missed my Unit 4 CBA exam. So when can I apply?
All the re-exams, Anuj Prabhu will schedule it in as soon as Karthik gets over. Karthik is getting over on 28th. So 28th onwards till whole December we'll have re-exams. Whoever devotees are missed after Sundays, yes.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you.
But that re-exams will not have any off for the classes. So Karthik will not have classes. So, but Karthik gets over, December onwards we'll have classes with second canto, second chapter.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Our devotees can decide based on that. If you want to do Bhakti Vaibhava for 4 years, then we can have a marathon holiday also. Then we can have Karthik, then we have Adhik Mas, like that. But if all of you decide that okay, you want to complete, what is my motto is within 2.5 to 3 years, I want to graduate all of you with Bhakti Vaibhava degree. Whether it is 1, 5, 10, 15, doesn't matter. So we are going to go with not very too fast, not very too slow. As congregation, other batches, they go on, we will have that criteria. Okay. So please do attend regularly, complete your exams, CBAs, OBAs, and Shloka test. Okay. Hare Krishna. So next, yeah, Prabhu.
So no classes during 4 weeks of Karthik, like 4 weekends of Karthik?
Ideally, that is what is the criteria. What you feel, you can discuss with all devotees. Anybody has any concern that will not have any class during Karthik, they can raise their hands. Think nobody has any concern. See, they want to chant 32 rounds, they want to go to Dham. So that means they're happy. But marathon onwards we'll have. I think Gopika Sundari Mataji want to speak something. Yes, Mataji, please tell.
Yes, Prabhuji, we will be going for yatra, no? Maharaj is taking us for yatra. Puri yatra.
Yeah. Yes. Whole Karthik 4 weekends will not have any classes.
Yes.
Yes. 4 weekends of Karthik will not have any classes. Therefore, first 5th November we want to complete with OBA. First unit exam, unit 6 exams we want to complete. That is why I'm telling 29th October you can write the CBA 6th unit, and 5th November you can complete with OBA submission. Okay.
And Prabhuji, in case devotees are okay, like those who have missed, they can write during this, like not during the yatra weekends, but the other weekends, the CBA, pending CBS.
Yeah.
Rather than like having with classes, I can like especially
what will happen with that is generally Karthik's how they do is either Maharaj Yatra will be there. Sometimes Bhakti Maharaj is going in Yatra now. In October 16th, 17th is going so far 1 week. And some other devotees may go for some other Yatra. So it will be in first week, second week. So Maharaj Yatra is from 15th November to 21st. But there are some other Yatras. So if you keep that time, then again it will go overflow to the December month. So I don't have any concern if when Karthik you want to write exams, they can write exams. You can take a call from them. So how many of you want to write exams during Karthik?
It's like these are missed exams, like those who have
Yeah, therefore I'm telling that only. Mistakes. Okay, Charnaran Prabhu is raising hand. No issues. We can keep it Karthik open. We'll not have any classes, but exams, pending exams, OBAs, somebody has missed, and they can write the exam in that time.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
And another thing, please. This is I have got an input from BBRB Dean as well as ISKCON Board of Examination. Online sessions will be with videos on. So please do attend with videos on. Second canto onwards, I'm going to be a little bit stricter. With videos off. Yes. So 75% minimum attendance with videos on. That doesn't mean that, okay, Prabhuji, out of 8 sessions, 6 sessions will keep videos on, 2 sessions will keep videos off. It's up to you. I'll not comment on it. But at least by the letter of the law, we will go. We'll have to be, because all of you are not Bhakti Shastri, it's not Bhakti Vriksha, it's not Bhakti Shastri, it's Bhakti Vaibhava. And after you finish this, you will become teachers of Bhakti Vaibhava and may start teaching also. So there's some qualifications for hearer and then some qualifications for speaker. Okay. So thank you for your patience waiting till 4:52. These are some of the things. So we have a timeline for finishing this Bhakti Vaibhava course. Therefore, we are going not too fast, not too slow for the first canto, because we wanted to take all of you together. But now you're on the same boat. So from second canto onwards, we will try to go quicker. 3 months we'll finish second canto. Next 10 months we'll finish third canto. So by next Kartik we'll be done with third canto. So please keep on writing exams, OBS, Shloka test continuously. Hare Krishna. So all the best for your test tomorrow. And Shloka test also.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Dhanyavad.
And here.
So, Anujuru, shall I stop the recording?
Yes, Prabhuji. Stop it.
Okay.
Thank you so
I'll
much
leave
for
it.
making it.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.